I wasn't expecting Caitlin Clark to be coming back this early, but ESPN put out an article earlier this week kind of summing up. They was predicting Caitlin Clark to be back by August the 12th. Now, this just came out of the pipeline of the Indiana Fever front office. Let's pull it up right now.
The entire WNBA was on life support, and the world was watching it flatline, but the one person who could save it was about to make a decision.
Caitlin effing Clark is a game time decision. She is a game time decision. She is, as far as I'm aware, someone said she's listed as questionable on the app. Someone said on the app she is listed as questionable. But she is a game time decision apparently. Look, if we're gonna be honest, no, she's a game time.
This isn't just about one player's injury. It's about a multi-billion-dollar media deal, the future of women's sports, and a catastrophic financial collapse hiding in plain sight.
Caitlin Clark may be back, and that will leave a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games left to get ready for the playoff run. Right now, you're looking at the Atlanta Dream, or you're looking at the Phoenix Mercury, which should be very interesting considering all the plots around that.
By paragraph 9, you will see the exact numbers that prove one athlete is more critical to her league than Patrick Mahomes, Steph Curry, or even LeBron James.
I could argue this intelligently. No one person means as much to their league, whatever league it is, as Caitlin Clark means to the WNBA. And no person has done more for their league than what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA. Patrick Mahomes does not mean that much to the NFL. Steph Curry does not mean that much to the NBA. LeBron James does not mean that much to the NBA. She is a monster. When we look back on this, Caitlin Clark will be for the WNBA what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were for the...
The Indiana Fever front office just upgraded Caitlin Clark to a game-time decision, sending shockwaves through the entire sports world. The Golden Goose is officially lacing up her sneakers.
You can't tell me that the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. You knew when news broke yesterday that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for a few weeks, that ticket prices were going to go down, but I never expected them to go down 71% for the rivalry game. I can't help but laugh because the first thing that I thought of when I saw this was a quote that we got last year from Angel Reese when she was talking about how people don't just watch the WNBA for Caitlin. They watch it because of her as well. Hate to say it, those numbers don't lie. They're watching because of Caitlin.
But behind the scenes, a catastrophe was unfolding that nobody was reporting. While Clark was out, the team was in full-blown crisis mode, facing a disaster of their own.
Fever Sky tickets dropped 71% on TickPick after Caitlin Clark injury. The get-in price for the Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever game was $86 after Caitlin Clark's injury announcement is now down to $25. And you Angel Reese fangirls will still believe and think that Angel Reese is the reason why people are watching the WNBA.
When Clark went down, Fever games were averaging a staggering 1.81 million viewers. The moment she disappeared, that number collapsed to just 847,000. That's a 53% drop that hit the league like a freight train. You can't argue with these numbers. They are a harsh reality check.
I think we're on the verge of seeing Caitlin Clark become bigger than the sport herself. WNBA viewing attendance is up over 200% since she joined the league. The Indiana Fever actually are outselling the Pacers, averaging over 17,000 attendance per game. That's crazy. $1 billion is the estimated increase in WNBA valuation based on Caitlin Clark alone. $1 billion. Now, this is up about 25% from the total economic value. Crazy to see these kind of numbers. I think we're on the verge of seeing something like MJ Tiger, where the average consumer goes to the TV because of somebody.
The devastation didn't stop there. National WNBA viewership across all games, even those not involving the Fever, plummeted by 55%. More than half the entire television audience vanished because one player couldn't suit up. This isn't just star power. It's a level of economic dependency that is truly unprecedented in modern professional sports.
Caitlin Clark's agent, Aaron Kane, said Caitlin will never be paid what she's worth by the WNBA because it is quite literally impossible for them to pay her what she's worth. An economist at Indiana University Columbus calculated that Caitlin Clark was responsible for $36 million in economic impact to the city of Indianapolis, and that she is responsible for 27% of the entire WNBA's economic activity for this past season, including attendance, merchandise sales, and television. One player in a big league responsible for 27% of the economic.
Remember the narrative that fans watch for other stars too, like Angel Reese? Well, the ticket market told a devastatingly different story. When the Chicago Sky faced Indiana without Clark, tickets that once sold for $86 plummeted to an embarrassing $25. That's a staggering 71% crash for a supposed rivalry game.
Now, if you're wondering about Odyssey, she is a guard, 5'8". She's a veteran, 33 years old. This is interesting. She's been an all-star. She's also was 2019 All-WNBA. 2014 All-Rookie Team. She's had some good seasons in here, folks. No, she doesn't have a great history with the three-point shot. But if Caitlin Clark is coming back...
The evidence was hiding in plain sight, and the numbers don't lie. Premium matchups that commanded $210 crashed to $95. Teams that moved games to larger NBA arenas, expecting the Clark effect, were left holding the bag, watching prices in those massive venues nosedive from $41 all the way down to $14.
Being active and playing 4 games and then not, and like not feeling the best, and then like frustrated of like how hard I worked in the off season, and then like all I do is rehab and like continue to do this process and just like trying to trust that the best I can. And obviously there's really frustrating days, and there's days where like it's a little bit easier and like you're very, very motivated and like you're close to the finish line of getting back and being back, and then like it's not like I have a training camp to like build up to like playing my first game again. It's like, no, like you're tossed into game 30, like go try to play well. Like it's hard. Like
sports economist Ryan Brewer projected Clark's economic impact could reach $1 billion this season alone. This isn't just hype. This is merchandise, tourism, and television deals that have transformed the Indiana Fever from an afterthought into the league's single most valuable property, with her presence alone valued at $340 million for the franchise.
Now, Caitlin Clark just helped deliver a major statement win. On Saturday, June 14, Caitlin Clark returned to the court for the Indiana Fever after missing 5 games due to a quad injury. The Indiana Fever handed the New York Liberty their first loss of the season, and Caitlin Clark was at the center of it. She made a return with force, leading the charge on both ends of the floor, and she came back in dominant fashion, putting up 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. Just shy of a 30-point triple-double in a 102-88 win over the New York Liberty. Now, even NBA's own LeBron James took notice, posting the CC effect.
Her impact on merchandising is almost unbelievable. Dick's Sporting Goods reported a 233% increase in WNBA sales. Meanwhile, Fanatics saw their sales surge by over 500%. Clark now ranks among the top 20 selling athletes across all sports and sits 6th among all basketball players, including every single star in the NBA. This is a cultural phenomenon.
Caitlin Clark continues to crush the viewership department and bring in those big ratings. This is from ESPN PR. This past Sunday, ABC aired another of its most watched WNBA games ever with the Indiana Fever's win over the Dallas Wings. It averaged 2.1 million viewers and peaked at 2.5 million viewers. WNBA on ESPN is up 7% from last season, man. What? The numbers are crazy. The numbers are crazy. She's a draw.
Remarkably, this highlights the massive disconnect between her value and her pay. Her reported $28 million Nike deal completely dwarfs her $76,000 WNBA salary. Her own agent admitted the league could quite literally never pay her what she is actually worth. One economist calculated she is responsible for 27% of the entire WNBA's economic activity.
We have not seen Caitlin Clark since the beginning of July. A lot of people have predicted for her to be out around the end of August, but this is a great update, saying that she could possibly play tomorrow, going up against Paige Beckers. Now, we know they have been having this crazy narrative about Paige and Caitlyn. Paige been better. Everything will be put to bed tomorrow. I pray Caitlyn plays.
Here's the uncomfortable truth. The team understands. During Clark's absence, they managed a respectable 6-4 record. Aaliyah Boston was posting video game numbers, shooting an insane 78% from the field. But this was borrowed time. They can survive without Clark for a short stretch, but they cannot thrive, and they certainly cannot become championship contenders without her.
2.1 million average viewers to watch the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, take on the Dallas Wings. ABC airs another of its most watched WNBA games ever. WNBA games ever. Ever. Ever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. ABC's fourth most watched WNBA game ever. More than 120 regular season and postseason games. More than 120 regular season and postseason games. This is more than most WNBA finals games, including last year.
The pressure isn't just about winning games. Clark herself revealed the psychological toll of carrying an entire league on her shoulders. On a recent podcast, she admitted feeling the crushing responsibility of knowing that viewership and ticket sales collapse whenever she's unavailable. It's a weight no other athlete in the world has to bear in the same way. Her mother's text message during the injury provided a chilling insight into the expectations she faces. "You've taken so much time for everybody else," her mom wrote. "You have to take time for yourself now." This isn't a typical recovery. It's a superstar learning to balance her own health against the financial survival of an entire ecosystem built around her. She described the unique challenge of returning mid-season with no preparation. It's not like having a training camp to build back up. Instead, you're thrown directly into Game 30 and expected to perform at a world-class level immediately. From a fan's perspective, the pressure to deliver instantly must feel almost impossible to manage. But this isn't speculation. We have seen this exact movie play out before. The last time she returned from an injury, she didn't just play, she delivered one of the most dominant performances of the season. Against the undefeated New York Liberty, she dropped 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds, handing them their first loss of the year. That game peaked at 2.8 million viewers, becoming one of the most watched WNBA regular season games in history. Even LeBron James took notice, posting the CC effect. It was a major statement win that proved her return instantly transforms the league's landscape. And based on what we saw, she thrives under that intense spotlight. Her return now is not just a triumph. It's a dangerous confirmation of the league's biggest fear. It proves their entire growth model. Their new $2.2 billion media rights deal is a house of cards balanced on the health and performance of a single player. What happens during her next injury? Or worse, when she eventually retires? These are the questions that keep WNBA executives awake at night. They've spent decades trying to build a sustainable collective product. But Clark's absence proved they've accidentally created a one-woman show. The league's growth isn't a collective success. It's the Caitlin Clark Show, with a cast of supporting characters. Now she returns not just to save a playoff run, but to a league where every opponent knows their own relevance and salary are directly tied to her presence. She's coming back to face top-level competition, including a much-hyped matchup with Paige Beckers, where every single move will be analyzed on national television. This game is no longer just about basketball. It has become a battle for the soul of the sport. Viewers are left wondering if the league can ever build a future that isn't completely dependent on one generational talent, or if the Caitlin Clark effect is a thrilling spectacle with a terrifyingly fragile foundation.